send your child to school and they'd get a good education. They said the American public school system is the best in the world. They said, we know how to educate your children, how to teach them to read, write, and do math. They said it's the only way to help your child graduate high school, go to college, and get a good job. It's not the only way. It's not even the best way. You know what I say? You can do more for your child's education in 15 minutes a day than the big education system can do in a full day. Give me 20 minutes of your time and I'll show you how. Your child's future is at stake. Hi there, my name is Nancy Samuelson, and in just a few moments, I'll show you the cold, hard facts behind why the American educational system is failing and being beaten by countries like China, and why more American children are being left behind than ever before, and why, if you don't act now, your child may never catch up. But most importantly, I'll tell you what's better and way more effective than all the wasted hours your child spends in the classroom every day, not getting the individual attention they need and deserve. Now, you've probably been told before that the Department of Education has a proven system of educating our children, but that is absolutely not the case. In fact, most children struggle to learn in the traditional classroom setting, and each day they fall further behind. Think about this. How many times have you looked over your child's homework only to find there was no logical progression? Even worse, have you ever discovered that when you talk to your child's teacher, they do nothing but spout off a laundry list of specific topics and subjects required by the state using techniques you've never heard of, whether your child understands it or not? Well, again, there's a reason for this. The powers that be, those who drive the money-hungry big education machine, have come up with what they think every child should learn in the way they think every child should learn. But the problem is, children are not learning it. They are simply exposed to it. Our kids cram information into their short-term memories only to be regurgitated on a test or quiz before it's forgotten forever. How is that learning? There are specific ways of learning that turn on your child's brain, ways that skyrocket your child's retention, giving them the chance to really learn new material. These brilliant new methods are recommended and written about in the Journal of Literacy Research, the New York Times, and even the Wall Street Journal. It's like a public secret, but like anything having to do with the government, they are reluctant to give you all the details. In fact, they won't. So, today I'm going to share a simple method that when used properly can transform your child's ability to learn. Your child deserves the best possible education, the type of education that gives them every advantage. If you give me just one more minute of your time, your child could very easily progress as quickly as one very special girl did, who went from being last in her class in reading and writing and almost flunking the first grade to being number 1 in her class by using this groundbreaking system for less than just 15 minutes per day. Now, I know 15 minutes doesn't sound like a long time at all, but for a young child, it's all you need, especially when you use the methods I'm about to show you. Now, as a parent, I know just how frustrating it can be to have a child struggling in school. Because school is a lot more than just a learning environment. It's a social environment too. And when a child struggles in school, they also struggle with self-esteem issues too. They become introverted and are often afraid to try new things. I need you to know that it won't take long to help your child. You see, that special little girl is my daughter, Sarah. And at the time of recording this video, Sarah, who is 7 years old and in the 2nd grade, is already reading at an 8th grade level. Just 6 months ago, she was last in her class and on the verge of failing, and now she's reading, writing, and doing math at levels far beyond her years. Her confidence and self-esteem are soaring, and she loves to learn. Her teachers can't believe the transformation. Her ability to grasp new information is lightning quick, and she's regularly called on by her teachers to help the other kids. She does her homework without being told. She finishes projects ahead of schedule and has become more responsible around the house. Most of all, she has plenty of time to still be a kid. She plays outside with her friends. She's in ballet and is getting ready to start soccer. The simple reason she has time for all of this while still excelling in school is because of this learning system. Less than 15 minutes each day. She's not special and she's not a genius. In fact, up until 6 months ago, she was failing behind in school. When she was 4, I had to start working again to help support the family, so I couldn't always spend as much time with her as I wanted to. I didn't have the time to read to her nightly or help her with schoolwork like I had been. Her participation in school began to slip, and she started getting in trouble in class for not paying attention. It got really bad. My parents, who helped take care of her, had no idea what to do, and they became extremely concerned. We started hearing the words learning disability and ADHD thrown around by her teachers, and you always hear about the thousands of kids a year being put on medication, so it really started to scare me. This went on for about a year. All of this was in spite of the fact that I had a great family helping me take care of my daughter, a family that loved her. They were devastated that she was struggling. Eventually, my mom started to mention maybe taking Sarah to a counselor to see if there was something bothering her. I didn't like the idea, but I knew Sarah needed help. Watching my daughter become more and more introverted was hard. She wasn't the outgoing, bubbly girl she used to be. Then one day at the park, I met a wonderful young mother, and to this day, I call her my guardian angel. I feel as if she gave me my daughter back with the simple little trick she shared with me that day. Things have been so much better since I met this woman, but what you need to know is that because of how bad things got with my daughter, and because of how grateful I am to finally have her back to being my happy, healthy little girl, I'm dedicated to the idea that you can really change your child's life if you want to, and if you have the right information to act on. What I discovered from my guardian angel, a discovery that allowed my daughter to quickly start making progress in school, created a fascination with how this method of learning works. I learned everything I could about early education and childhood learning. The reason for this was because I wanted to take care of my daughter, but I also wanted to show other parents how they could transform their child's life too. I fell in love with helping children learn and grow, and everyone I told about this amazing system got results just as quickly with their own children. I am so proud of them. Lots of parents reached out to tell me just how much progress their children were making, and in what seemed like record time. For the first time, their children were reading fluently, writing easily, and excelling in school. Even though many of these parents had previously invested in other learning systems and several had wasted money hiring expensive tutors, I knew this system worked. But I had one experience with a parent and child that changed everything. And hearing their story led me to where I am today, where I now tell other parents how spending less than 15 minutes a day will get them a huge payoff in their child's future learning ability. Let me tell you about the woman I met in the park, my guardian angel, Liz, and her daughter, Amber, and how hearing the transformation Amber experienced and eventually seeing it with my own eyes is the reason you're watching this video today. Liz told me working with her daughter Amber on schoolwork was never easy. In fact, even though Amber had made it to the 4th grade, suddenly learning became difficult. For some reason, nothing seemed to work. Nothing was helping Amber. Soon, Amber started bringing home notes daily from the teacher, describing Amber's inability to concentrate or focus, and pleading with Liz to have her daughter evaluated for ADHD. But Liz wasn't interested in medicating her daughter. She knew there was a better way. Here's how she described her daughter's transformation. Hi there, my name is Liz, and my daughter Amber is 8. Last year, she started to struggle in school, and eventually, I was called in to meet with Amber's teacher and the school psychologist. Both agreed that my daughter had ADHD, and they recommended I put her on medication. I have always believed that, and have never liked the idea of anyone in my family taking medication unless it was absolutely necessary, especially my children. So I decided to try something else first, and after finding this learning system, my daughter has made an incredible transformation. Her ability to focus, concentrate, and learn are night and day. And she learns with such ease. This system has changed everything, and we are so grateful. We were so impressed, we started using it with our son too, and he wasn't having any problems, but just did the lessons each day along with Amber. And since then, he has made major improvements in his schoolwork. It's amazing what just 15 minutes a day can do. Liz was amazed that this method of learning not only helped her daughter, who was struggling in school, but it also helped her son too. He made major progress going from B's and C's to straight A's. To be really frank with you, kids like Amber are usually labeled with learning disabilities. They're given a free pass to stay behind because that's what others expect. They're medicated, put in special classes, and isolated. Their self-esteem and confidence levels plummet, and they start to believe the labels they've been given. And her son? Well, he was allowed to just keep getting by, when all along he was capable of achieving so much more. And after my experience with Sarah and seeing the results Liz was able to get with her children, I was convinced that these methods were what every child needed. I started doing research and discovered that there are certain learning strategies that activate your child's entire brain, making it easier for them to learn virtually anything. Not all methods of learning have this effect, but when you expose your child to the right learning exercises, like I did with Sarah and Liz did with her children, it doesn't matter how old or how well your child is doing in school. It doesn't matter if they're ahead or behind in school. These methods will improve their ability to learn and grow. I already knew my daughter was smart, but nothing seemed to engage her or stimulate her desire to learn. I also knew she had trouble focusing for long periods of time, as most kids do. So I started using this specific set of learning strategies proven to activate a child's entire brain. I followed a step-by-step learning system that was fun, engaging, and easy to use, a system we could do any time of the day, and could fit in on even the busiest days, and it could be done anywhere. If we were out running errands or at the grocery store, we could easily spare a few minutes. Okay, now let me be really clear. Sarah did not have a lot of focus at first, and even 5 minutes was a bit of a struggle, but within a week, she was easily able to do the full 15 minutes. She even likes to repeat the lessons again during the course of the day. They're that fun. And the best part is, no matter what else is going on throughout the course of the day, there is always time to finish each lesson. And Liz had the same experience. At first, Amber struggled with the lessons, but within a few days, she was easily able to complete all of them. And within 3 weeks, she was reading books on her own. She also developed a strong desire to read and learn. I was blown away. Other parents were also getting the exact same results I did. Liz was excited beyond words. Her kids were finally thriving in school, and that spread to all areas of their lives. Their success in school made them more outgoing, better at following directions, improved their creativity, and stimulated their imaginations. But Liz and I weren't the only parents seeing such dramatic changes. Virtually every parent who tried the system reported the same amazing results. It was truly remarkable. Kids with behavior problems no longer acted out in school. Kids having trouble reading now read well above their grade level. Kids struggling socially were now confident and making new friends. These kids were not only improving their grades, they were improving their lives. When children are exposed to these methods, it's like a light switch goes off in their brains. Now I like to call this switch the learning light switch. What this means is that doing these lessons light up their entire brain, which helps them in every subject. They improve their reading, their writing, and their math. They become better problem solvers, better thinkers, and develop better memories. All you have to do is take your child through each daily lesson exactly the way me, Liz, and countless others have. So let me tell you what this system is, because I'm sure you're wondering how less than 15 minutes a day can have such a positive effect on your child's ability to learn. See, the low-down dirty secret that most teachers and anyone in big education won't tell you, either because they don't want you to know or honestly they have no idea, is that most of the teaching methods used by the public school systems are ineffective, simply because they are designed for the masses, treating every child the same. The only reason I can give you the inside scoop on how the public school curriculum is delivered is because I researched it myself. The Common Core curriculum was first introduced back in 2009, and by 2013, 45 states, including Washington, D.C., had adopted it. And by the 2014 school year, every state was required to have Common Core assessments in place to ensure that students were both college and career ready. The result? Just 1 year later, in the fall of 2015, the National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP, tested a representative sample of high school seniors in the 2016 graduating class, just 7 years after first introducing Common Core education. On average, the performance of high school seniors dropped in math and failed to improve in reading from 2013 to 2015. When compared to a study from 1992, the first year that similar testing methods were used, performance was down on both tests, which means that your child's education is being delivered in a fashion that has been proven to be inadequate. So if your child is like Amber or Sarah, and their lack of progress has been diagnosed as a learning disability, or worse yet, some type of clinical disorder resulting in them being medicated, or if your child is more like Liz's son and the millions of others like him, who are not failing but not necessarily excelling either, just sort of getting by, they may never reach their full potential. Both types of children simply get lost in the shuffle. And here's the huge piece of information that Big Education doesn't want you to know. Your child is just a number to them. There are millions of children going to school in America, and the system is not designed to cater to each of them individually. In fact, a recent article in the Washington Post outlined the downfall of the American education system. The author said, education policies and procedures put in place, beginning with the 2002 No Child Left Behind law, have simply failed. They, along with the Common Core state standards and high-stakes standardized tests, have tightened the screws on a curricular platform that's headed toward a cliff. And, in another article published in The Guardian, they discussed the findings associated with the method I've been telling you about. In a British cohort study, researchers followed 17,000 people from birth, who were all born within a week of each other. Every few years, they would interview the test subjects, and a random sampling of the children were put through a series of cognitive tests. What they found is that the children who were exposed to a specific method of learning had higher test results. In other words, the specific learning method was linked to greater intellectual progress, both in vocabulary, spelling, and mathematics. The overall impact was approximately 4 times greater than that of having a parent with a postgraduate degree. Yeah, pretty amazing, isn't it? I don't know about you, but if I knew of a way to increase my child's chances of success, boost their brain power, and make them smarter in every way, I'd want to know about it. If my child was having problems in school, difficulty concentrating, and was falling behind, I'd be willing to try anything to help them. Well, now, it's as easy as giving your child a series of fun, challenging, and engaging lessons. Lessons designed to stimulate their whole brain, allowing them to learn faster, easier, and with less effort. So here's how this learning system works. Now, you've probably heard of phonics, right? And you might have heard good and or bad things about it. Well, here's the surprising thing discovered in my research. Some part of phonics work incredibly well, especially when combined with other proven whole brain learning methods. You see, children learn best when they see, hear, and interact. Their brains are literally sponges ready to soak up new information, and that's why they learn languages and musical instruments so easily. But please pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you, because it's important for you to understand that the problem with most learning methods, including Common Core, is that they don't allow a child to learn in the most effective way possible, through immersion and interaction. In fact, children learn best when their defenses are down, and learning is instead perceived as doing something fun. Not to mention, when they enjoy the learning process, they begin to think that learning is fun. So here is the simple way your child can engage in fun, entertaining, and exciting learning without having to buy computer games or take them to special learning centers or after-school programs. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's simple to do. Now let me be really clear. Your child wants to learn, and they want to grow. They just don't want to do it in the way our current system delivers it. Learning can and should be fun and interesting. The problem is, most of the learning programs are delivered in the wrong way. So let me tell you the right way to teach your child and why it works so well. Because if your child is showing even the slightest amount of resistance to learning, they're shutting off key areas of their brain necessary for complete understanding of the material. Okay, so what's this miraculous learning system I keep talking about? It's called the Complete A to Z Learning System, a simple and effective at-home system designed to increase the cognitive and learning abilities of our children with whole brain learning. This simple, easy-to-follow system, inspired by the centuries-old methods used by the people in Singapore, who ranked #1 in the world for children's reading, math, and science, contains the exact same program that enabled my daughter Sarah to rapidly learn to read, improve her confidence, and raise her grades, all in the space of only a few short weeks. You can think of this system as the Complete Learning System version 2.0. And it's the most powerful and effective reading and learning program on Earth. In fact, in just over a month, this system has succeeded where traditional education methods have failed for decades. And I want you to have the chance to achieve the same life-changing results for your children and grandchildren. So, let me show you exactly what you're going to get. First, you will get the brilliant children's book, From A to Z, A Life of Glee, where your child will develop their love for little Sarah Glee and her 26 alphabet friends. You will get a read-along video of From A to Z, A Life of Glee. You will get a full 56-page coloring book, complete with all the characters and rhymes. And in the 6-week lesson plan, you will get over 10 exercises a week for reading and comprehension, speaking and language, arithmetic and counting, mazes and creativity, colors and patterns, words and riddles. These exercises include coloring the alphabet, matching the picture to the word, writing the characters' names, counting the hidden objects, crazy mazes, spot the pairs, and much, much more. But that's not even the best part. All the exercise and learning games are digital, so you can print them out again and again. If your child makes a mistake or loves one of the games, they can do it again. And finally, the piece de resistance, you will be given the access to our private members group, where you can chat with other parents and grandparents about your experiences with our program. Our hand-selected teachers and certified moderators will offer guidance and support with any questions you may have. And if you don't want to follow this system exactly, but want to come up with your own exercises and games, our team of experts will show you how, while still achieving the fastest results possible. Now, don't think for a moment that I'm expecting you to tie your kids to a chair and make them do all this work. The system is designed to be educational and fun, enjoyable for you and your kids. So that's literally all you need to take back control of your child's education and their future. And just imagine for a moment how that would feel. Imagine watching your child's grades rise day after day on their homework assignments and week after week on their test scores, until your child is so engaged and motivated in school, they don't need our lesson plans and exercises any longer. Imagine that feeling you'll have when your child is walking tall as one of the smartest students in the class, when he or she is actually helping other students with their homework. Imagine no longer worrying about a letter or phone call from your child's teacher warning of their poor grades. I'm talking about no more failing report cards, no more parent-teacher conferences, and no more having to make sure your child actually finished their homework. And imagine the feeling you'll have when you know that with every lesson plan your child completes, they are gaining momentum towards graduating high school, being accepted into college, and starting the successful career you had always hoped they would have since the day they were born. All this means you'll be able to spend more time playing with your child and doing fun activities, rather than harping on them to finish their homework, worrying that they won't pass their next test or come home with a C or even an F on their report card. Thousands of parents and grandparents just like you are transforming their children's future as I speak, thanks to the Complete A to Z Learning System. In fact, the men and women whose families have already had success will be the first to admit that they're not unique or special in any way. They're just regular parents and grandparents, families who had been failed by our country's education system and made the right decision to follow a simple learning system that has been proven to work. Take a look at what some of our parents have to say. Charlotte P. from Lexington, Kentucky wrote in saying, "Thank you so much for your reading program. My son was falling behind his class in first grade, and his teacher suggested I enroll him in their after-school reading program. Unfortunately, as a single mom working a full-time job, it just wasn't feasible. Your program has given my son a new outlook on life. We've completed just 4 weeks, but his teacher notices a big difference. He is no longer behind, and according to his teacher, he is moving ahead quite rapidly. He loves the activities and looks forward to his new lessons, and I can tell he feels more confident. Thank you so much. I am eternally grateful." Judy O. from Boulder, Colorado wrote in to say, "We've just finished your 6-week program, and all I can say is, wow. My daughter Ashley has not only learned how to read, which is amazing, she's only 4, but she truly loves to read. I bought your course originally for my son Alex, who is 6. He was having some reading problems, which have now been resolved, so thank you. I am just so impressed with the way the program is delivered and how entertaining it is. My kids love it. It's like a game to them. They complete every lesson the same day I give it to them and do it several more times before the next one comes. Keep up the great work. I am truly amazed." Jessica H. from Frisco, Texas wrote in to say, "I purchased the complete A to Z learning system for my 6-year-old daughter who's in kindergarten. This is such a fun and interactive way for kids to learn to read and sound out simple words. After doing 1 lesson a day for the past 2 weeks, I noticed amazing progress in my daughter's independent reading ability, and not to mention, she finally has the confidence to read by herself." And Tammy L. from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, wrote in to say, "I can't tell you how grateful I am. My son was really struggling to read, and while I tried my best to help him, I just wasn't getting anywhere. I found your course online, and I must say it was truly a godsend. My son is now reading chapter books where just a few months ago he could barely read picture books. He loves to read to me, and I can see his enthusiasm grow. He reads everything from street signs to menus. I am so proud of him. Thank you for such a wonderful program." We receive letters like this every day from parents, thrilled with what the complete A to Z learning system has done for their child. Parents love it. But if you're still not convinced that helping your child learn to read isn't the very best way to set them up for success, just take a look at what these experts are saying. In a published scientific report called What Reading Does for the Mind, 2 prominent university professors came to the following conclusion: reading makes kids smarter. In fact, simply learning to read and becoming active readers gives children with even modest cognitive abilities a major learning advantage. Learning to read early also predicts your child's future academic success. In a study published in the journal Developmental Psychology, first-grade reading ability is a strong predictor of a child's success in the 11th grade. And get this, according to a study published by Donald Hernandez, a sociology professor at Hunter College, if a child isn't a proficient reader by the 3rd grade, they are 4 times more likely to leave school before graduating. And if you think for a second that the public school system has your child's reading education handled, think again. Because according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, 67% of 4th grade students can't read at a proficient level. And a study done at Texas A&M University came to the following conclusion: many in-service teachers are not knowledgeable in the basic concepts of the English language. They do not know how to address the basic building blocks of language and reading. Don't leave your child's reading skills to chance. How much is the A to Z Complete Learning System? Well, before I answer that, I want to make clear that you shouldn't be thinking of this as a cost at all. This is an investment in the long-term education of your child or grandchild, which is the most important investment you will ever make. I'm talking about taking a poor student with C's, D's, and F's, even B students who simply want nothing more than to be an A student, and transforming every aspect of their education and learning ability so you can get back to enjoying life as a loving parent, proud of your child's accomplishments. In contrast, the decision to walk away and save money today may not only cost your child their education, but their chance at living a successful life in adulthood, costing them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in lost earning potential. Remember, the average family will spend almost $5,000 on their child's education, which may include tutors, workbooks, and in some cases, private school. So, the decision to invest a tiny amount today will not only transform your child's education and overall well-being, it will save you and your child a colossal amount of money over the next 5, 10, or 15 years, and not just for you, but for your child as well, as they could be the ones who could lose out on millions of dollars in potential income over their lifetime. So tell me, how much would you pay to ensure your child has the best chance possible to reach their full learning potential and avoid annual tutoring bills worth thousands of dollars? How much value do you place on your child's education and that of their future? How much would you be willing to part with to protect your family and your loved ones from the pain and suffering that goes hand in hand with the results of a failed education? Whatever that figure is in your head, forget it, because the last thing I want is for the price to be a factor in your decision. In fact, making money was literally the last thing on my mind when I set out on this journey. My mission was to help as many people as possible to improve their child's education and future. And I'm happy to say that that number is now approaching 40,000 people. So although it was recommended that I charge $997 for this system, and many people I've spoken to would be happy to pay triple that after experiencing the life-changing results for themselves, I'm not going to ask you for anything near that figure. In fact, I'm not going to ask you for even a quarter of that, or 1/10 for that matter. Instead, for a strictly limited time, you can pick up the complete A to Z learning system for the price you see below, which is enough to cover my costs and allow me to keep this website running. And all you need to do is click on the Buy Now button below. Get the complete A to Z learning system today for just $37. So, I get it if you're skeptical. Liz was too until she saw how Amber responded. So, they offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. If this doesn't work for your child, you don't pay for it. All the risk is on me to help you and your child reach their learning potential. What this means is that you could actually go through the entire 6-week program before you ever make a real decision about it. If you don't love it the same way thousands of other parents do, if your child doesn't respond like I've promised, and if you don't feel like your child has gotten any benefits whatsoever, simply request a refund and I'll give it to you. The only thing I want is for you to actually use the learning system, because there's nothing like this kind of program anywhere. Trust me, I've looked. The complete A to Z learning system is designed to work quickly and effectively. All you have to do is follow it. Remember, it's less than 15 minutes per day. Everything in the complete A to Z learning system is designed to help your child learn, grow, and reach their full potential. I really believe you're going to love the complete A to Z learning system, and I cannot wait for you to be my next testimonial. All you have to do is click the button below. Your child only has one chance to get ahead at such an early age, and you don't want to miss their critical learning window. In just a few moments from now, you can start your child on the path to better reading, writing, and math, a better vocabulary, better focus, improved concentration, and an untethered imagination. I'll see you on the other side.